Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm sharing a Christmas card, quite neat and clean and simple. But today I'm featuring the newly released Hot Cocoa stamp set together with the Whimsy alphas, which were released quite a while back. Now first of all, I'm going to color in these images and therefore I'm using my Copic markers. I stamped these images onto Transotype perfect coloring paper. I'm just going to work my way from darkest to lightest marker on each of the elements. Now for the browns, you will see quite a lot of brown combinations today, but although you will see a lot of combinations, you will also see that there are a lot of markers returning, which is something that I mean often when I'm saying that only just a few new markers close by to the others you already had can lead to so many more combinations all at once. If you're curious about the combinations that I'm using today, you can also find them on my blog post where I am listing them for each of the critters, each of the elements as much as possible to help you with maybe those new markers that you're looking for. So on this hamster, I'm already using two brown combinations from which I am using several of the same colors all at once. So I'm reusing E53 and E51. And the other markers I'm changing up. So that's the funny thing about this. I have one marker that is darker and one marker that is lighter, and both of them will help me to get two combinations using two exactly the same markers, but just having one on each of the side or on each of the opposite sides of this combo helps me. Now for the cocoa, I'm using the same combinations on all of these images. Also the cups will be in the same red combination. That's all just to keep it as simple as possible. Personally, it's something that I really like doing. As you know me, I tend to reuse color combinations all over my card to help with a really clean and simple look. So also here I'm working from darkest to lightest, and since I'm using Transotype perfect coloring paper, I told it in the past I need at least 2 layers. If more, I will add them. This paper can handle it. And if you're at a current coloring project and you find that this paper is not handling the marker anymore, or that the ink isn't being added to the paper sort of, this is because your paper is oversaturated at that point. Luckily it isn't bleeding normally, but what you can do then is just let it sit aside, or take your heat gun and heat up your paper to let it dry, and then you can restart with adding the layers. So here as well, I'm trying to add those shadows there where there are some items sitting in the cocoa, as well as on the edges, because I want it to have a rounded look. The same thing you will see with the reds. I will add the reds on both sides of the cup to make it a rounded cup. Now here again on the reindeer, as I said in the beginning, I am reusing markers throughout several combinations. Here you can see the E53 returning as well. I'm also going to use a part of the combination from the hamster on the, how do you call it? It isn't any horns, but well, in Dutch we say geweih, which is really funny, but those two things sticking out of the head of a reindeer. So therefore I'm using a similar combination as on the hamster, which is really fun, because as you know, it gives a completely other feel by just adding it to another image, but it will be exactly the same combination. For this penguin, I'm using W's, W7, 6 and 4, which is a really simple combination. Also, there isn't a lot of space to add a lot of color, so with 3 markers that's definitely more than enough. If you have 2, that's good. If you have 1 and you want to add pencils, that's also good. If you have 1 and you just like a clean look without any shadows, that's perfectly fine as well. Just have fun while coloring and do what makes you happy, do what gives you the result that you like. So here I did that combination, and then on all the white sort of items in the cocoa I'm adding the same E50. That's just handy, I had it on hand and at the same time it works. So here another brown combination, only using 2 markers now, but if I would have used 3 markers, I would have used the E33 as the lightest color. Let's now do all the reds. So I have one red combination, but depending on the size of the part of the image that I'm coloring in, I'm using less or more markers. So in this case, for the head and the nose and then the straw, I'm using less markers than for the cups itself. The cups are quite large, so in this case it's always handy if you have a variety of markers that go really well together. In my case, I have the most red markers, and also for Christmas it's really handy, so that's why I used reds. But I also contemplated about creating this card in greens, which would be really lovely, I think, as well. And then again, many more reasons to use this amazing stem that only Christmas, but I really wanted to do this kind of card. So as always, I'm also going to add here 2 layers to these cups. They are all 3 going to be colored in the same way, same markers, same combination, and also 2 layers. So I'm not going to show you all 3 of them because that would be maybe a bit too much repetition for you guys. And also I didn't want this video to get too long. The only difference between these 3 was that the one with the penguin in, the cocoa there is dripping off the edges, so there I added a bit more shadows, but the idea is completely the same. And then I'm taking my matching dies to cut them all out. Now I'm also going to cut out the H 3 times from this same paper. Now to color in the H, I am adding it just for a bit onto purple tape, and I'm going to use the same red markers. I am not going to use the complete combination, I'm just using the 3 darkest ones to color these in. And then we will start on the assembling. I went in with my darkest first and worked my way towards my lightest of this combination. However, I had to go back and forth until I was happy with the blend that I got before I could assemble the card. Now, a little bit of this video is missing and I'm already really sorry for that. But I will try to explain. It was really simple, the part that was missing. So once everything here was colored in, I trimmed down a sliver of Cranberry cardstock from Concord the 9th. This cardstock was perfect, it matched with my cups, so I also could have used it for my H here instead of coloring it, but again, I wanted to use the same combination. So I did that, and then I also cut down a sliver of the Gold Dust Glitter cardstock from Tonic Studios. I adhered that gold dust on top of my card base, just flat, using a Pritt adhesive roller. And then on the back of my slightly thinner mini slimline panel, I added the red sliver using some Scor Tape. But any tape will do, I just used that. And then you just saw me adding my panel on top of the slimline card base using some Scotch 3M foam tape. So I'm making sure that I like placement. I wanted these different images to be a bit on an angle, not everything aligned straight. And then I use my present seal to keep everything in place. So I'm just pressing it down, and then I can lift everything up together to add some thin foam squares on the back of all of these images. Now once I did that, I made sure to remove the backings and place this complete set of images straight on there. And then I can remove the present seal and everything is stuck in place. Now next up, I'm going to add some embellishments to this card. I'm going to add some stickles. These are the Stardust stickles. And then I will be adding some heart sprinkles, because of course I love them. So I'm just adding some white hearts from the Sweet-N-Tart heart sprinkle mix from Trinity stems. And I'm going to add 3 of them, 1 on each of the parts of this card. So therefore I'm using some liquid glue and of course my embellishment wand to help me get everything in place. And of course I touched one of the stickle parts, so I had to do that again. And then I decided to add some glossy accents. I'm going to add it on all of the cocoa as well as on the nose of the reindeer. And then this card is completely finished. I truly enjoyed making this card, so I hope that you enjoyed this video as well and that you like the end result. If you do, you can always give this video a thumbs up. I would truly appreciate it. I want to thank you all for stopping by and taking the time to watch this video. If you have any questions, you can leave them down in the comments. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much. I wish you all an amazing day, and I'll be back soon with some new crafty inspiration. Bye!